Namaste all, this is JV'n Anjali Pareek from Faculty of Education and Methodology, Department of Fashion and Design. In the previous session, we were discussing about the careers and guidance about the fashion design course, and we will further now discuss it more in order to understand what is fashion design about, why one should choose this course, and if one is looking for this course, what all things would be coming in his or her path. And here is the presentation. I'll just share my screen with you. I hope that it is visible. If you talk about fashion designing, it is the art of creating something, creating an apparel and lifestyle into the career option now. It is a promising profession that is creative at the same time and also serve as the high package in the glamorous industry. However, it is a demanding sector as one needs to be very creative constantly, and he or she should be in a sync with the trends that are going on. He or she should be aware about what all is working in the market, what all are the demands, what does a customer need, and why and how he or she will be creating that product in a way that it fulfills or satisfy the customer need. If you can create magic with shades, shapes, designs, cuts, and textile, you have landed on the perfect article to stitch the decision that you have made a bit stronger. Now, what a fashion designer do? He basically crafts a design process from conception to the final look, from the very first stage to the last stage. It involves marketing research, trends in fabric, techniques, and strive the design inspiration, editing the design in stream and creating new concept, selecting apt fabric and snips, what all the fabrics would be required, how he will place the fabric in a way that it creates some unique design out of the garment that looks apart from the others, selecting apt fabrics and snips, developing sketches for customized packages, collaborating with technical team to make sure that packages are accurate. Because once we create the design, we also have to look at every aspect, whether if we have designed the product is following every step or not. If there is a problem, one has to look upon it. Who will be looking on this? A merchandiser, a designer, or a fabric unit owner. He will make sure that everything that is going on is in a correct way, because it is very important. If you are creating something, if the first step is right, you also need to ensure that second, third, or fourth step is also correct. Otherwise, whole product has been made, but if your second step was wrong and you're looking at the final step that this thing gone wrong, and you're looking at the very last time, then you would not be able to mandate any change. You will not be able to do anything about it. Rather, you have to focus on every step, and that is how a product comes out in a very different way. Then re-examining products before presentations. Obviously, whenever we present a product or a garment, we need to make sure that while we go to the end consumer or the client or the judge, we need to make sure that the product is all upright, tight, and it has all the perfect fittings and no other problem has been there. So it is important to assure all these aspects before the product is being delivered to the final end consumer. Presenting story, theme, seasonal boards to clients. While we create a design, we always need to make a storyboard, inspiration board, color board. That also I have talked in the previous lecture also. I've explained this, that these boards are the very basic that one has to do. Why? Because this is how we start, you just cannot think something and you are just like, I'll bring the fabric, I'll design it just after thinking once. That is not possible. So what you have to do is you have to go systematically with the proper procedure. You have to get inspired from somewhere, and if you are getting inspired from somewhere, you have to just align all that together, so that at the very last moment also you remember that what you have created. Why do we make boards? कि अगर हम लोग कुछ बना भी रहे हैं और लास्ट टाइम पे अगर मेरे को कुछ मैच करना है, मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा, तो आई अगेन लुक ऑन टू माई बोर्ड कि क्या क्या मैंने सोचा था और उसके अकॉर्डिंग कि कुछ चेंज तो नहीं हो रहा. बिकॉज व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि स्टार्टिंग में हमने कुछ डिसाइड कर लिया कि आप ऐसा ऐसा करने वाले हो, बट इवेंचुअली इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर ह्यूमंस टू एवरी टाइम रिमेंबर एवरीथिंग दैट वी हैव decided in the very early phase. So it is easy to make yourself understand and also your client to understand what are you talking about. For example, if I am working on a theme that is pitchway, so what will I do? I got inspired from where? From the lotus or the cow's motif, or maybe from the pitchway art basically. So if I got inspired from there, so I will make a board, inspiration board, that has pictures of all the pitchway art forms that was available, which is also aesthetic and has some balance and symmetry altogether. Then I'll choose a color board. It is not necessary that what colors were mentioned in the inspiration board, you have to use that only. Your color board, your color palette could be according to what you are deciding to make, and what you are what do you want in your garment, what colors do you want in your garment, that could be totally upon you. And there is no compulsion that you use the uh, colors which were used in earlier phase. So after making the color board, you have to make the sketches, because just by making one sketch you cannot decide the garment look. I mean, you can decide the garment look, but there is a very limited scope if it would look good or not. And to make your client more comfortable about your design, your idea, you have to make around 10 to 40 designs. Why so? Because he or she could judge between each of the designs, and he will look for the best of the 5 designs. He would suggest that these type of design is what I want, and you can then further go on it. This is the major things that we do. Then is the career opportunities in fashion designing. What are the options that are available in the fashion designing field? So, firstly, there could be a fashion designer. Secondly, visual merchandiser. Visual merchandiser कौन होते हैं? Anyone who plans the look of a store. It could be an online store or an offline store. Mainly, usually in the very first, in the previous era, merchandising was not that important part, because it was mostly about selling the product in exchange of a commodity. But later on, with the changing developing phase of India and other countries also, visual merchandising has been an important part, because people have been looking for the things. And also the market is very wide. जब आपके पास options बहुत सारे हैं, तो हमें we need to make sure कि हमारा product कोई क्यों purchase करेगा. अगर मार्केट में एक पर्टिकुलर टाइप का ड्रेस ऑलरेडी 4 लोगों के पास है, तो आप ऐसा क्या अलग कर रहे हैं कि आपके पास कोई कस्टमर आए और उस प्रोडक्ट को ले. Then you go to the visual merchandising part. What is visual merchandising? You are planning a store layout in a way that a customer has a view on it. He or she is attracted to your store. This could be done through lighting, colors, some theme, any props, mannequins, any display board, or maybe any, just any sort of discount ideas or proposals one could have. So these are the basic things that visual merchandiser do. This can be done after you do the fashion designing course. In fashion designing course also, we have this subject called fashion merchandising, in which we explain about the visual merchandising. there all the things related to this is being taught. Then what is the other option? Garment manufacturer or exporter. One could be a garment manufacturer or an exporter in the फैशन फील्ड. गारमेंट मैन्युफैक्चरर और एक्सपोर्टर कौन होते हैं? जो कि अपनी खुद की इंडस्ट्री उन्होंने फॉर्म करी है in order to sell their products to the mass market or in India और आउटसाइड इंडिया. डोमेस्टिकली भी आप ये कर सकते हैं और ये आप इंडिया के बाहर भी कर सकते हैं, मतलब एक्सपोर्ट भी कर सकते हैं उसको. और आज के टाइम पर देखा जाए तो इंडिया जो है टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री बहुत ज्यादा एक्सपोर्ट करती है बाहर की तरफ. एक्सपोर्ट करने में ये फायदा रहता है कि द अमाउंट ऑफ a product is more in comparison to the domestic ones. Then the other option is fashion consultant. This is the person who looks onto what all fashion things one requires and how can you, I mean, the color or the silhouette or anything, any information that you need to make for your design. For example, if you are deciding to marry or if you are deciding to have some different type of clothing on your marriage, then what you will do, you'll go to a fashion consultant, you'll tell what all you want, and you'll get to know more information about the same. He or she will provide all the aspect related to that situation, that theme, and you'll get to know more about it from a particular person. Then is a fashion blogger. This is a very common fashion career opportunity that one does. Mostly if you have seen on Instagram and social sites that people come and speak about some things like this is how you should dress, and this is how you should choose your colors, this is how you should present yourself, stand, speak, everything like that is called blogging, and fashion blogger do it in context of fashion industry. Then is the graphic designing. We have the Corel software and Adobe software, Illustrator, and many other software like this, where one could design a illustration on a computer or digitally, rather than just sketching it out with a paper and pen. You could do with a CAD. ऑल्सो अगर आप देखते हैं आपके आसपास में प्रिंट्स वगैरह होता है, अगर एक कर्टेन है, कर्टेन में अगर प्रिंट हो रखा है तो वो प्रिंट कैसे बना है, तो वो प्रिंट ऑब्वियसली आप हर चीज को हैंड प्रिंट नहीं कर सकते, तो वो कैसे होता है, तो उसके लिए ये हम लोग कंप्यूटर पे डिजाइन बनाते हैं, या तो स्केचेस के थ्रू करते हैं, या स्केच अगर एक बना लिया तो फिर हम उसको कंप्यूटर मशीन के थ्रू भी उसको डेवलप करते हैं. मशीन से क्या होता है कि अगर एक ही चीज है उसकी मल्टीपल कॉपीज हो सकती है एफिशिएंट टाइम में और कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव होकर भी. तो ये ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग का पार्ट होता है. इसमें स्केचेस भी बनते हैं, मोटिव्स भी बनते हैं, और कोई अगर डिजाइन है या फिर कोई पैम्पलेट बना रहा है कोई इंडस्ट्री, या फिर कोई कुछ भी सोशल साइट से रिलेटेड जो कि प्रेजेंटेबल होना चाहिए, तो वो किस पार्ट में आ जाता है? ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग में. इसके बाद में वापस हम बात करते हैं ट्रेंड फोरकास्टर, जो कि पहले से एक बेसिकली देयर इज अ टीम ऑफ फोरकास्टिंग टीम that looks onto what a customer will need after 6 months, कि क्या उन्हें चाहिए होगा, मार्केट में क्या चाहिए, और उसके अकॉर्डिंग हम लोग अभी से प्लान करना चालू कर दें, और उसी के अकॉर्डिंग हम मैन्युफैक्चरर्स या रिटेलर्स को बताएं कि ऐसा हम लोग सोच रहे हैं कि ये होने वाला है. और ये लोग किस बेसिस पे करते हैं? ये खाली बोलने के बेसिस पे नहीं करते. दे डू सर्वेज, दे डू अ वेरी इंटेंसिव रिसर्च, एंड आफ्टर दैट दे डिसाइड दैट कि ये वाली फोरकास्टिंग हो सकती है. दे गिव सम assumptions, they give some ideas. Forecasting might be wrong at times, but it is 99% almost right only, because आपका जो सोर्स है वो एक प्रॉपर सोर्स होता है. रिसर्च प्रोसेस एक प्रॉपर प्रोसेस होती है. Then one could be a fashion photographer, costume designer, boutique owner, tutor, e-commerce manager, and there are still many more opportunities that one could look for. Then if we see the careers that are in India, like textile export houses में आप लोग काम कर सकते हैं, fashion boutique में काम कर सकते हैं independently. कि अगर कुछ लोगों का restriction होता है कि that they cannot go out of home or they cannot work out of home due to some responsibilities or due to some restrictions or anything possible, then they could work independently on their own from their home. They could just sell whatever uh, ideas or whatever knowledge they have. Then is the textile or fabric manufacturing units. You could open your own manufacturing units like other industries are available in the market. Then there are various retail chains that one could go for, and like Zara or any other fashion brand showrooms like UCB and others. So one could work there also. They could do the designing, they could do the selling, they could do the forecasting part in all these stores. Then is the TV and film industry. We can work for the actors, actresses, and other models. What kind of dresses would be needed according to their show, because everything has a theme and everything has to be looked upon. Then comes the teaching of course in institute, like just like I am doing right now. So you could one could teach this course in a university or any institute. Then in the next one, what are the various designing categories that are available in the fashion design field? If you look here in the board, you'll get to know about three designing field that are apparel, accessories, and footwear. Apparel comes for the fashion garment thing. Accessories come for the jewelry, or maybe it could be a handbag or a scarf or a earring or anything that goes along with the garment could be an accessory, and one could be accessory designer. This is also one of the part that comes in fashion designing. It has, we have one of the subject in the entire course, where you could learn about these things. Continuously we do all those. Then comes the footwear designer. Now footwear designer could be, you could see the second picture below. One could be the footwear designer, how to design the shoes or sandals or anything. And other than this could be a home furnishing range, because you know there are so many products that are made of textile, and one has to decide what and how will they deliver a product to the customer. So there are designer for home furnishing range also. There are various techniques that are used in the same, like weaving or digital print or hand block print and various other techniques, embroidery, and also many other things that one could work with. And it comes in both apparel, furnishing, and accessories and footwear. You could apply all these techniques in any of the designing field, and you could make your own product out of it. Then comes the next slide, designing attributes. If you want to work for designing, what are the attributes or what are the basic things that you need to accomplish? So one should be very good with the observation part. He or she has to observe everything that is around him or her, so that you could make something out of it. Then the sketching part should be also very good, because you know it is important for what you think. You have to just take it out on a paper, on a digital platform, so that the other person could see it, and also for you to make it uh, to make yourself understand how your design will look that you have think about. Then creating a design in sync with trend, you have to be continuously aware about the trends that are going in the market, so that you could cope up with what or else you have to make. And then your presentation skills, you have to present yourself in a way that someone is totally fine with, and he or she understands what are you trying to tell him. You have to sell yourself, you have to make yourself available, you have to make yourself understandable in a way that your design and ideas are totally easily you can portray it to someone else. This is all about the careers and attributes. Now, if you see how the design course is done, firstly you have the diploma course, then you go for the bachelor degree. Once bachelor degree is over, you can go for the job. Otherwise, if you still want to study, you could go for the master degree to learn more things. After the master degree, you can also opt for the PhD if you want to go into the research part or in the teaching career also. What is the salary of fashion designer? In the terms of experience, one has to have a very important role, and it is a very deciding factor in the salary of a fashion designer. The salary of the designer is based on the experience. Like if he or she is working from 0 to 5 years, it is around 6.12 lakh, then in 8.26, then 12.77, 4.50, and about 22 lakh also after you have a lot of experience. And if experience is also an important thing, but with that you should have some knowledge. You have to always keep on learning. You will always have to achieve more and more, and then only you'll able to earn so much. Because if you don't know anything about your field and you're working continuously without any reason, then that might be a problem. But if you're working efficiently, hard work, if you do the hard work, if you focus on your work, then you'll surely achieve more and more in the current field. Thank you so much. This is all for today. And also, I hope that it was very clear to you. Just in case you have to ask anything about the same, you could just ping on the message box and let us know what all the queries are. Thank you so much. I hope we can join this again. Thank you.